Yeah, I did on Sunday.
States of America.
Stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Extra words in there. All right, I heard it. Yep, we're good. The bowl's right there. If anybody just joined us, want to get in on the drawings. Today's drawings, we have the usual. We're going to start switching it up a little bit in the future months, but this one is 2 Hershey Park tickets are also being added into the mix. So anybody that hasn't put their card in, please do. Maria, you want to get to that water park?
She's not even.
Somebody on there. All right, we're gonna do gratitude, thank yous. I'll start off. I like to get a couple in here, but I want to thank a lot of the ALC, everyone that had a part in Friday's gathering. It was a great little gathering for us for Juneteenth. Phil brought in, and he's not in here, but Phil brought in a good public speaker, so did Belinda. I think we learned something, and then again, we just ate some good food and had some good time. So I appreciate everybody that was able to play a part in that, Amy as well, as far as getting that event up and running. Anybody else?
Yeah, I thought it was a great day, Friday, to be able to speak.
Weather was a little edgy, but we made it. We made it. Any other thank yous? Need a couple more.
Well, I'd like to
30
thank
days
you,
on
Ryan, for helping me out last week with,
Oh.
yeah, so I appreciate that.
Disgruntled clients.
Yes.
We all get them. I mean,
Yep.
has anybody not had a disgruntled client before? Oh, yeah.
Just
Now you're gonna get one. That's how it
You might
works.
be up to that.
Yeah.
So I'll speak up about something.
Thank you, Jeff.
Some of you know me, some of you don't. Being in your latter part of your 50s, which I'm always reminded by my wife, and learning that you can still be coached. Big thing. And Rick Keller and I have been working on some coaching. And in a few chapters of the book, he's actually opened my eyes to where I failed in leadership. And it's pretty humbling to say the least, but kudos to Rick for getting me to do that. And it was this book, the one thing, it's a freaking awesome book.
I think we sometimes take for granted. I mean, you guys are what, a couple months in Keller Williams at this point, but how much education and technology and things that we offer here for Jeff, who might have taken a back seat to learning or doing some self growth. Like I think we have all that right here. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being self-aware with that and continuing to grow.
I want to thank Joe for doing those classes on Tuesday mornings. 'Cause
Yeah, they've been great.
They have been really
See you
good. And it's
I don't want his head to blow up.
it's a shame that more people didn't join in on this because it was
Yeah.
eye-opening and a lot of learning.
Yeah, we have one more
One
next
more
Tuesday. I don't remember, which model is it? Do you know?
Organization.
Yeah,
Organization, yeah, we all need that, so.
Mm.
Yeah, that's last, and then we'll start another type of class probably towards the end of summer. Anything else?
I want to thank Ryan for helping me come back to KW.
Thank you for coming back. Right, yeah, now my head's gonna swell.
I'll do it again.
EpiPen shot. All right, last call, good. All right, belief system. Do the normal, go through it.
Win-win or no deal.
Integrity, do the right thing.
Customers always come first. Commitment in all things.
Communication, seek first to understand.
Creativity, ideas before results.
Teamwork, together everyone achieves more.
Trust starts with honesty.
Equity, opportunities for all.
Success, results through me.
See if anyone would call out. I think what I want to do, I want to, because I think each month our belief system pops up in some way. And for me, I want to share like one of the ones that showed up, and I already did the gratitude, but it was around teamwork last month. And the teamwork showed up in the way that we put on that event. Events are very, very challenging to put on. They stress me out. Last year, a year ago, which was our grand opening, I was super stressed out. You don't want no one to show up. You want it to be a fun event. You want people to talk about it. But it can't be done with one person. It's a group of people, and it's the vendors that participate. It's the individuals that bring the food. It's the individuals that come and attend. It's everybody. So again, I just want to say how that really showed up last month for us, or even last week. Just putting that event on, and again, without teamwork, we wouldn't have had such a successful event. So again, I appreciate that. Anybody else have one that really sticks out to them from the last month? It's kind of new. I wanted to kind of get more engagement on that, because we're going to start doing giveaways in the future months on engagement participation. Anything? Firestone? Right in front of me. All right. We have some slides. Productivity program, courtesy of James Reynolds, has been really kicking up a notch. He has a great group right now, and they're starting to see some success through it. So through our productivity, we always like to give a shout out to the ones that are doing a phenomenal job. It's always exciting when you get your real estate license. When's your first deal going to come? And fortunately, we got a couple of those. Mr. Aaron Becker was the first one. He sold 2 houses last week. Those settled with an ACL, MCL, something else injury. His whole leg messed up, but $846,000 in his first. I think it took him about 6 or so months, maybe 9. But now the momentum has shifted, and now he's starting to get more into listing appointment, or he's getting a listing appointment. So that's a heck of a payday for an agent that just started. And I asked him, because he's still a dual career, and I said, how long would it have taken you to make that commission? He's like, oh, 2.5 months at least. So it kind of puts in perspective of what he was able to do and what he was able to make, and what it would have taken man hours if he stayed at his job. So congratulations to Aaron. And then we also have Crystal Gross, who just put her first under contract in. So congratulations to her. And you said she might be getting another one.
She's doing a listing appointment.
Good. Anybody else that we missed? Anything happened in the last 24
We've got a
hours?
bunch of other people who have listing appointments and buyers they're working with, but nothing under contract. So it's coming. The snowball is happening.
Good. So congratulations to them. Dave Mansour, he capped. It's a young photo.
What is it with real estate agents and young photos?
I mean, I don't know, because we want to look what we looked 15, 20 years ago before it beat us down. So
So has anybody ever walked into a 7-year-old agent that's been around for eons and like, didn't
Yes.
realize they were doing?
Yes.
have you ever taken a photo 10 years down the road and you had more hair, less weight, like all that stuff?
I had more
That's why
hair.
we hold
I had
on.
more weight.
Yeah.
I just don't age, so I'm good. That's what we all tell ourselves.
I don't know.
You still look like a little.
We can pull up some pictures from 10 years ago of you, Ryan.
Yeah, well, that happens.
That shirt might have fit then.
Well, you know, he was
You just opened yourself up, Firestone. You're gonna get it.
Ryan was in diapers when he started.
Damn, I was gonna let you go, but I got a couple of Firestone jokes right here on this page. All right, backpack fundraiser. So Logos Academy, if you guys were here Friday, or if you were here at the last office meeting, we're doing a fundraiser for Logos Academy. $60. We'll get a backpack and fill it. If you want to Venmo me, I'm handling all the funds coming in. I think we've raised with Friday, and Amy, you just sent me another 120.
Yes.
I think we're up about $700. I'm pretty sure Belinda got an additional some cash as well on Friday. So we have to, we only have a couple more weeks because we want to be able to order them. We want to be able to fill them. I have the notes somewhere. What did we need? 140 backpacks? Is that what we were looking at? Do you remember? Something like that.
Yeah,
And
145.
quick math on $60. I don't know what that is.
We
but
need like 5,000.
we need $5,000. So we're a little bit off. Again, clients can donate to this. It's just a great way to give back to our local community. June birthdays. We have a few of these. Kayla, Rachel, Chrissy, Tyler, Deb Steckler's on. Christie's is today. Happy birthday to her. Anthony's coming up. Lindsay's also on. Happy birthday. And Bob, what are you, 39 years young?
Yes. Yes,
Looking good.
yes.
Happy birthday to you guys. Anniversaries, happy anniversary. Man, Brandy Wagner, I think she's been here since the start. She's been here probably the longest, but happy anniversary, you guys. Jeff, Lori's anniversary is this month as well. And then welcome to KW. So we already welcomed Gavin, but let's welcome him again. He's sitting here. Anthony, he just joined Jeremy Tolley's team. Jacob Hope, actually, he bought a listing of mine, but he's on Neil and Colby's team. Edwin's back. Edwin. So we got 2 people back this month, Nolan and Brendan. So Nolan is in Hanover. He's actually going to be working with Rick Keller. And then Brendan Landis is in Puget. I think you got put on last month, but you're here, so. Top producers, so celebrate top producers. Great month all around. We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. We were profitable again. It felt like back of middle of last year. So it was good to see some good numbers come through. Petula took number 1 at 1.6. Mr. David Pottle had a hell of a month at 1.5. Kate Bershis, 1.2. Mike Jones just missed a mill, but heck of a month, hits the board. And then there's that Ron Clever guy. He's always sneaking his way in there. Liz Hamburger's team took number 1 on teams 5-5. Colby, Neal, Dave Monsor, the Cardos, Phil and Maria, who are in here. Congratulations. And Michael Hargett. And then individuals, we had Kate taking out number 1 of 5 units. Petula, Dave, and Paolo had 4, and Mike got number 3. And then teams, I mean, there's some good numbers we're starting to see again. 35, 21, 10, 8, and 6. So all really good numbers. Congratulations to you guys. All right. Want to make a plug. So Jeff also just did this, but Rick is going to be on a Real Talk coaching program around burning out. I think we've all experienced it at some point in our careers, whether was real estate, life in general, maybe your previous career, but it's just getting your mindset readjusted whenever you have that feeling of burnout. But if you're interested in that, you can use the QR code. We'll get that out. I think he's already posted it once. That is on June 28th at 4 o'clock, which is next Wednesday. We got a couple events coming up. Tomorrow's Pipeline to Profit. That's KWRI. We have the real estate for the organization with Joe. That's the last of the MREA models. That's next Tuesday. We have franchise orientation. If you want to learn more about the franchise of Keller Williams and what it's made up of. Distinction, agent of distinction. We got the KW Tech Team Leader Skills Camp, and then we have our office meeting. That's actually, we just changed that to the 12th, so we'll get that out. So it's going to get a little, this is when we start seeing a little bit slow down. Again, everyone's going into vacation mode and spend time with their families and kids. July, I'll give this slide to Tina.
All right, July 13th, REAC Summer Social. It's going to be at the Country Club again this year. We did that last year or the year before, I don't remember. Come out, enjoy cash bar, heavy hors d'oeuvres, light dinner, whatever you want to call it. It's a fun event, just socializing and meeting with your colleagues from different brokerages, and it's fun.
Spouses are allowed, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bring cash because there's usually 50-50.
Is she the one that holds the cash?
Yes, I don't go anywhere.
Don't even have a wallet. Thank you,
I feel
Tina.
like I'm spending money on alcohol.
Yeah. All right, like I said, Andrew's not able to make it today, but we have his team that has been gracious enough to take some of the spotlight off of me and put it on them. He did want to talk about, and I prepped them already, the student loan repayment program that's coming up. Like I said, it's going to impact your buyers in any way. So give it to Kaylee.
Hi, guys. So the main thing he was going to talk about, so COVID, we all know when COVID happened, student loans just were like put on pause. So for our purposes, when we're looking at loans, we can use a set payment amount based off of a percentage. This all comes to an end in October. So the thought is that within 60 days of that, underwriting is going to start taking a look at what the actual payment of the student loans are. So that's based off of, you know, what the government says as a percentage of their payment. And that's the payment we're going to have to start utilizing. So what I will tell people is just kind of be aware of that for your clients who have a lot of student loans, just because that could greatly impact the amount we're able to get them qualified for, especially for people we're holding pre-approvals for already. One thing I will tell you is they have that IBR or IDR payment where they can apply to have it based off of like their income. We are able to utilize that IBR and IDR payment, which is 9 times out of 10 a good bit lower than what their regular monthly payment is on their student loans. So we always recommend to people, you know, if you're seeing your student loans go back into repayment and the monthly payment showing as like $600, we're using 150, it's going to be a huge impact to your qualification. But if you apply for IBR or IDR, they will adjust your payment based on your income. A lot of times it drops it by half or more of what the actual payment reporting is for when they go back into repayment. So that's just kind of like a good resource that we usually tell people, especially if they have a good bit of student loans. So it just kind of helps them to be able to qualify for more, obviously, and not impact their, you know, their pre-approval as much. So as we're updating client pre-approvals every 30 days, once we get closer to like that August, September timeframe, we will start having those conversations with people just to kind of prepare them and also adjust the pre-approvals accordingly. But just something to be aware of for your new clients and or people that you already have a pre-approval for, especially as we get closer to like end of August, early September, when they're going to start making these changes. All right.
Does anyone have any questions on that?
So are you saying you guys were not using their student loans as part of their debt and income?
So we were, but it was based off of a percentage of what the balance is on the student loan. So we still had to use it as a liability, but we were able to use either a percent of the balance or a 0.5% of the balance based on if they were like conventional FHA, Fannie versus Freddie. So, you know, for people who have, like, we have some situations where people have like $100,000 in student loans. We try to run them through the funnel where we only have to use a 0.5% of that to qualify them as a liability. But for those people who have those super substantial student loans, when they get their payment, you know, when it goes back into repayment, their payment might be $1,000 or more, where if they apply for that IBR, it'll drop their payment based on their income.
But if they've been paying it, then it's not an issue.
Yeah, if they've been paying it, it's not an
It's just
issue.
if they stop paying.
Right. A lot of people right now, because of them being in deferment, they were still making the payments because it was going to strictly principal. So, I mean, it would be stupid not to. I mean, you're paying them off a lot quicker, but it's still not reporting a payment. So for those people, you know, they might be paying it monthly, but it doesn't show as a liability for the amount that it normally would if they were in repayment. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a good way to kind of do another touch to your buyers, maybe some of them that got approval a couple months ago, or they're maybe lost some motivation, that this is going to impact their approval even more. Because like she said, about 60 days from now, which is going into August, September, going to be here before you know it, their approval, where they might still be looking at $300,000 homes, it might drop down to 260, 270, we don't know. Now, he did tell me, and I wanted to make sure, but they can still try to reapply for forbearance, so that there is still that option. I think we're gonna go back into those times of 19 pre-COVID, essentially how we dealt with student loans. But to what they were saying, and I think most mortgage companies are doing this, they weren't considering what the full payment could be. They didn't have to, because for 3 years, 3.5 years almost, these individuals didn't have to make their payments if they didn't want to. So just keep that in mind. Reach out to your buyers now that are working. Reach out to any buyers that you had an approval with within the last probably 6 months to a year. Make that a nice little touch process, just to kind of let them know what's changing in the industry, and just want to stay ahead of it. So I don't know if he's on yet. Where'd my thing go?
Hey there.
Where'd my tab? Oh, you're here?
Yeah, hey,
I don't
good
know where my
morning.
tab went.
Escape.
Escape.
You might want the full, yeah, want the full page.
Hold on a sec. Do you have slides, Jacob?
I do, yeah.
Where did the thing go where all the guests were on it?
Hit escape again.
It,
Find Zoom.
hold on, bear with me.
No problem. Take your time.
Oh, there we go. All
go.
right, all right, hold on. I'm gonna get out. How did it just pop up?
Knew what you were doing. It hurt.
It canceled.
Because you had to minimize behind the page.
All right. Make co-host. And you can share your screen now.
Okay, perfect.
Should be able to.
Did that swap
go.
over
Alright.
properly there?
Figured it out. I got lucky. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll let you have the floor.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time. So guys, my name's Jacob, Jacob Bratcher, company's Reminder Media. Also, I'll mention, I know that over the last 3 years, you guys have seen a lot of talking heads in a little box on a computer screen. So my very bold commitment to you today, I am gonna make you laugh. So we'll see if I can be a fun talking head today. Again, my name's Jacob. We've been in business, Reminder Media. We've been in business for 20 years now. I've been working with these folks for about the last 10 of those years. We are an approved vendor with Keller Williams on a network level, and I typically go to all the larger events, Mega Camp, Family Reunion, all that good stuff. So I might have seen some of you guys before. Our company, we have a lot of products and services, but as an organization, we really just have one main goal, and it's all focused around keeping you in touch with people in a way that's going to be consistent, but will not look like marketing, won't look like advertising, which is really hard. People always kind of know when you got something to offer, right? So we all sort through our mail in the same location. It's usually standing in front of the trash can. Emails get deleted real quick, and agents will see my phone number that they don't recognize when I make my cold calls, and they probably know pretty much immediately that it's a sales call. And it's all the same. It doesn't matter really if it's coming from a phone call, an email, or mail. People can see it from a mile away. And if we can take that out of the equation, where they're not looking at it through the filter of this is an advertisement, that's probably the biggest thing you could change that would make an instant difference in the results. Now I do a lot of these presentations. I'll do usually 4 or 5 of these every week. I also make about 40,000 of those sales calls every year. So I talk with a lot of real estate agents, and every so often I will come across an agent where their business is the dream. It's perfect. They're producing a lot really consistently with very low marketing costs as well. They're making great money and they're keeping their money, right? And when I ask those agents, hey, what's worked for you? What's gotten you to this level of success? Sounds like your business is on autopilot for the most part, based on what you're telling me. They will tell me basically the exact same thing as each other. And what I'm able to really boil it down to is 2 things. One, they've very much focused on the relationship with their client. They made sure it feels like a 2-way street, doesn't just feel transactional. And the second part, and this is really the challenge, it's automating that process, because those 2 things sound pretty conflicting with each other, right? Personal connection and automation don't exactly line up, but if you can get those two in line, that makes a really big difference to get your business moving towards that autopiloted referral and repeat business focused type of organization. But backing up the theories with some facts, this is really interesting to me. Now, this data comes from, if anybody is curious on getting some more info like this comes from the NAR 2022 profile of buyers and sellers. And what this is telling us, last year, 60% of buyers and 67% of sellers, they found their agent through a referral or repeat transaction. So through a relationship, right? Now, I always like to try to get a little bit of feedback, get an idea where you guys' heads are at with this stuff. So I will take a quick poll here. Feel free to speak up. But if you all had to guess, what percentage of sellers do you think are finding their agent through a lead that the agent paid for? And I'll say that again, percentage of sellers that find their agent through a lead that the agent paid for. And just take a guess. What do you all think?
10.
Okay, 10.
8.
Here, 8. No prices right people today. That's a shock. Okay. Okay, cool. I would say average guesses I'm probably getting between 10 and 20, I would say, are most common. And if you can believe it, the number is in the low single digits at 3%. Only 3% of sellers are finding their agent through like Zillow Leads, Realtor.com, Trulia, all those types of companies. And I didn't come on here to say, oh gosh, don't buy leads. All I'm really saying is those leads won't get you a listing. They're going to get you a buyer. And our market has changed a lot over the last 3 years, but it's, I'm sure, safe to say that most of you want to focus on listings where you can. And if we look at where the sellers are finding their agent, it's not even close. I mean, the 67% completely takes over all these other categories. All these other categories are less than 5%, guys. And in the same year, now this data is coming from the NAR member profile. So this is when they're surveying all the active licensed agents from last year. In 2022, NAR reported that 60% of all active licensed agents spent none of their marketing dollars, none of their budget towards connecting with past clients and sphere of influence type connections. Now, I find that that doesn't apply so much to the Keller Williams agents because you guys have really good focus on relationships. But if that is anybody in this room that fell in that 60%, I am scolding you, if I could be so bold. No, but jokes aside, what I think happens a lot, and this is just from talking with literally, I mean, thousands and thousands of agents. Well, you guys are good at building relationships. So when you finish up a transaction, you usually feel like that relationship is solid. So that new marketing dollars that you're getting from your commissions that you're investing back in your business, you're typically going to think, well, this relationship that I just closed is taken care of. So I'm going to focus these marketing dollars on somebody different. That person I just closed with isn't doing anything anytime soon. So focus on someone else, which makes complete sense. But your best shot to get to somebody new is really from that person that you just closed the deal with, especially in that first year. The things that consume your time are the things that consume your conversations, right? So what are they spending their time on in that year? They're decorating a new space. They're texting people to Zillow listing. They're doing housewarming parties. They're meeting the neighbors, right? And all of these things turn into their casual conversations that also have a chance to turn into a referral. But I'll tell you what, when you miss a deal and you are surprised by it, right? Let's say it's a referral you were expecting, or a past client betrays you, they list with somebody else. Or you drive home, your neighbor from a couple doors down, their house is for sale, and you're like, oh my gosh, those ones hurt. I'm sure that's relatable for most of you guys. But my point is that when you miss that kind of deal, it has got to be like 9 times out of 10. The only reason you're going to miss that deal is because you weren't top of mind. Truth is, if you were the first agent that they thought of when they knew they needed help with real estate, you were the person that they were going to reach out to. And it really just comes down to being in front of them all the time. You got to be consistent without crossing over into becoming annoying. It is a fine line. And I think that we nail that balance really well. Some of you may be familiar. We've been publishing American Lifestyle Magazine for 20 years now. There's tons of other products we put together nowadays, along with several versions of that magazine. So I know you're seeing a bunch of options here, but just to make this simple, think of these as all the same product, but you can actually pick from like a whole subset of content, right? So you've got lifestyle, health, business, and home. And the Good to Be Home magazine is the one I would suggest the most right now. This one's still fairly new. We've had this for just about 2 years. You're the face of this. So it's your headshot, contact info, logo, all that's on the cover. This particular cover is one of like 20 options you can pick from. The first page is a letter to your client. It's personalized with their name. You can write the letter. You can let us write it. You can pick from templates. It's up to you. On the right, there's an example of one of the tear out cards. One side of the card is your info. The other side's a recipe or tip for the home. Again, you can pick. There's all sorts of stuff that goes on the cards. It's a 48-page piece. And there are, I love saying this, there's no ads in the entire thing. So it's 48 pages of actual content. And it's topics like household management, maintenance of the home, it's decor, design, landscaping and gardening, organization. It's a really hot topic right now. So you'll see good stuff like that. Home improvement and projects. Recipes are fantastic. We always get good feedback there. It will be themed towards the time of year. So you can see this is a summer theme. And then towards the end, there's a second one of those tear out cards. And you are on both sides of the back cover of the publication as well. And that is where you can create anything you want. So if you ever did want to feature a listing or sold property or testimonial from your client, invitation to an event, if you got ideas, we can do anything that you like on the back cover. But the last statistic that I will share, I promise, we track everything that we can. So we don't do it ourselves. We pay another company to do this type of market research for us. So we know what's effective. And obviously I'm telling you it's going to stick around. So I'll tell you that the data really does support us here. Last year, this company that we hired, they're called GFK. If you're curious, they're an international market research company. Last year, they tracked an average shelf life for our magazine of 4 weeks. And that is really strong. The closest comparable would be a printed newsletter, which NAR said last year, average shelf life for a printed newsletter in America was 5 seconds. And we are tracking a month. It's an astronomical difference. And it really all comes down to people categorize things immediately when they take them out of their mailbox. And I've seen newsletters that theoretically have better content than my magazine. But because people are familiar with the format, they've gotten a newsletter from their kids' soccer team and their veterinarian, they realize that it's a business effort in some capacity. And so they're looking at it through that lens of I'm being offered something, right? And that's really what this does. But ultimately, we want to help you get more referrals, more repeat deals. That's the goal. I do want to take a quick stopping point for questions. I'll go through cost, which will take me like 60 seconds, and then we'll wrap up. But any questions before I do?
Jacob, I have one, like, so for the agents here that may want to use this as a touch, I think you said you mail them to the clients, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so what if they wanted just to mail it to them and then they could go and deliver it to their clients? Would that be a possibility?
Yeah, great idea. I recommend that for any agent, especially if there's any new agents, they're really good to have on hand if you do an open house or a listing appointment. Anytime you make a first impression, they give you some instant credibility. They represent you really well. Obviously, you're going to have people ask you how long you've been an agent. So this can kind of stop them from asking that question, which is helpful. But businesses too, drop it at your doctor, right? Leave it behind at your dentist, your nail or hair salon, your barbershop, your mechanic. But yeah, short answer to that is yes. You can have some sent to yourself, have some sent out to contacts that you have. You could put all your eggs in one or the other basket or do a mix of both.
Thank you.
I'll throw some numbers on the screen here. And if you guys do have any questions, feel free to stop me. Also, I'm putting this QR code on the screen. You can scan it with your phone. If you'd like to get a sample so that you could take a look at it on your own time, scan this. It'll ask you to fill out your info. And you can take a look at the magazine whenever you have some free time. And I will come back to this code later in case if I'm moving too quickly for anybody that did want to scan this. As far as cost goes, and all my info's on the left, by the way, guys, that's my direct line. You could call or text me. You could shoot me an email there. The main thing we're going to do, because of course we've got a group deal, we're going to drop our setup cost by a good chunk. Usually that's $299. If you just signed up on my website right now, that's what it would ask you to pay. Anybody in this group and this office, we're going to take $200 off. So $99 instead of $299. Now that goes towards a lot. We will assign one person to your account with us. So you will have a human being with a direct line that you could call or text. Makes it really easy to get in touch. We do guarantee exclusivity to your recipients, so they're not going to get the magazine from you and one of my other clients. And then you can use this on your social media, no additional cost. So $99 up front, that's your day one cost. After that, we work on who do you want to send to, how do you want it to look? And whenever you approve it to mail, that's when you pay for the magazines. Okay, so you don't pay for them until exactly when you're ready. When you are, they're $4.49 a piece. That includes the postage and the shipping costs. And the minimum is only 50. So going back to having some sent to yourself, any new agents, some of those 50 can be sent to you, some to your sphere. And then I love including your neighbors, not the whole neighborhood. I'm talking 10 or 15 properties by your own home, the ones that would make your stomach drop a little bit if you see their houses for sale. I love this for the neighbors because you do have to be smart about the way you're doing it since you live there. You don't want the neighbors afraid to make eye contact with you when they're walking their dog because they think you're going to sell them a house. So I like this as that balance of in touch, good impact, not going to bother them. But if you do 50 is $224, and we send it every other month. We don't do it monthly. We found we didn't really need to. So every other month, 6 times a year. And last component of this, we do offer a one-time mailing. So you could try it for the summer, make sure it's a good match for you. If you like it and you want to continue, again, we send every other month from there, and there is no contract. So it is an issue by issue system that you would be able to stop at any point. And last thing I'll mention to you guys, by the way, code's back on the screen if anybody missed that earlier. But I'll say this, the magazine's an effective tool, but certainly better than anything that I can offer you would be you talking to your clients. And whether that's in person or on the phone, that type of one-to-one connection goes a really long way. Obviously, you don't always have time to do that or a good reason to call. So things like this are very helpful to fill the gaps in between those connections. But where I'm getting is, send this thing out for the summer and use it as a reason to call your clients, right? Hey, it's Jacob. It's been a little while. Oh my gosh, it's been too long. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's good. Oh, by the way, I sent you something. It's this magazine that I put together. It should have got to you last week. And I just had to tell you, you have got to try the red velvet cookies on the first page. And, you know, hands up, it's a little corny, but no one has a problem talking about food, I can tell you that. And from there, it's a really easy transition to maybe take that and turn it into something. But even if you're not necessarily asking for a referral, going out of your way to say hi to people goes a very long way. But that's it, folks. I will take one last stopping point for questions if there are any. I've got one piece I'll wrap up with that'll take me like 5 seconds, but any questions on cost or anything else before I go? Okay. Only other thing I was going to mention to you all, I'll just share with you my challenge. I work with real estate agents who you guys probably have the most unpredictable schedule on planet Earth. So I have to shoot my shot when I have it. And I always throw one little extra call to action out there. Anybody that does sign up with me today, also anybody that signs up tomorrow, I'll pay for 15 of your copies on the first run. So if you were going to send 50, you'll only pay for 35. It brings your cost down by about $70. So it takes a decent chunk off there. And of course, I've got to practice what I just preached and actually ask. But is there anybody that does want to try and connect one-on-one with me later? And we'll try and connect on the phone or something or by email and see if it's a good match for you. Anybody want to try and talk later? And that's my last awkward silence I'll leave you with, I promise. Guys, thank you so much.
Jacob, we did have one person. I'll get you guys in contact then.
Okay, great. I see one in the chat as well too.
Yep.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, cool. All right. Well, folks, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the time, and looking forward to working with some new faces. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great year.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. So, I mean, we had them on. They've been, again, there's a couple of us that have used, I used them in the past. It's a great tool that if you wanted to go ahead and get in touch, if you have a VIP group or things like that, you haven't done a summer or fall touch, it's a way to get yourself in front of them and give them something that's useful and branded towards you. I think that's it. Yep. So we'll do giveaways. We have a lot on this. I forgot we have some over here. So we have Hershey Park tickets. That's one. We have our usual stuff. And then Keystone Transaction Services did the chair, this thing.
Water bottle.
They all call it, there's a Stanley, there's a Yeti, there's whatever this guy
What,
is.
she has to put her card in.
Oh, and then JBL speakers.
Is that like a whole package?
Oh my God.
Nope. We're gonna make it so you can pick. We're not gonna have it to where I'm gonna call it out. You can pick what you want with what's left.
I missed the first part of that. You're still giving out the transactions and stuff?
Yes. So we have the 2 tickets that come as a pair. One, and then office fee and transaction fee. So 110, 295.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it pays to
So it's
show
kind
up,
of like
right?
in your favor, what you want. I'll go. Oh, Heather, you get first dibs. What are you gonna pick? You can come up, look at it, test it, get the chair out, sit. see if it's comfy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the first part first, sorry.
Is that where you're going?
I'm very happy. I love you.
Man.
I knew that was
Of course.
Poor Amy.
Oh.
I'll take the speaker. Somebody can hand it to me.
That's rigged.
Oh, so close. Here, here.
Oh,
We're doing
right
it next time.
Ooh.
And then you just.
Gavin.
Cards? Yeah.
Gift card? Take the wrong card yet, mine in your hand, you didn't touch it.
Sorry.
Hey, you get to choose next time. No, you have to pick.
Andrew, that's you?
Andrew, take one for the team.
So here's what's left. You have the water thing, you have
Transaction.
gift card,
fee.
chair, transaction fee, or monthly fee.
Okay, I'll just do the transaction.
Okay.
Now pick one.
Good value.
Yeah.
Good team.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed it by it.
Dave Reynolds.
What are you gonna take?
I'll take the monthly.
Oh, okay. You're writing these down, right? Because I'm not gonna remember.
Number one.
Seth Trone.
Oh, switch to the back. Is there Cheyenne on it?
Nope.
Okay, I got it.
It said Cheyenne.
So we just have these 3 up here, right? Yeah. Gift card, this.
How much is the gift card?
50.
Yeah,
That's
that's fine.
Have to take a guess.
Just thank
Lawrence.
That's nice.
That's it.
Who's giving us some? Your kid.
I'll take the chair.
Okay. Last one.
Huh?
Hey, guys, reminder,
Door.
oh, Dara. Reminder, next month's meeting is getting moved up to July 12th, so we'll send another, and again, Lindsay from Cutco will be coming here with the knife giveaway. We'll have some other different things to give out. Other than that, I appreciate you. Food is out there. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I have like 3 minutes.